Hey all, it's Jesiah. A friend of mine asked me if I'd make a video about some of the strange things I've heard while transitioning in a small town. I'm from Pictou County in Nova Scotia, and I've lived here all my life. I did live in Dartmouth for 5-6 months a few years ago, but I mean, other than that, I've never left this small rural area, which is kind of backwards. Anyways, I've heard some strange things from people I've worked with, from doctors, nurses at the hospital. I got some notes as always. So one thing I did find interesting though that I wanted to share is that when I was a kid, my parents always went to this convenience store, and so the staff at the convenience store, Big Al's in New Glasgow, is pretty much the same people that work there my entire life. So I find it interesting how they've never said anything, they've never asked any questions, not even inappropriate ones. They talk to me the same as they always have. It struck me as interesting because my dentist, who's been the same since I was old enough to go to a dentist, I mean, she's always had the same receptionist, and it's like she doesn't recognize me, doesn't recognize my voice or anything anymore. So it's just strange. So transitioning in a small town and not leaving is, I mean, I have like a safety bubble around me of people that I know. I don't go out a lot to drink or anything, so I don't get ID'd a lot. I do smoke, so I try to buy my tobacco products somewhere that I know I won't get ID'd. It's when I do get ID'd that, you know, those awkward questions come around. Or one lady at the tobacco shop one day, she asked if I was the guy from the newspaper, and I knew what she meant, and she said, oh well, you know, those hormones really worked. I was like, I didn't really understand her comment. I guess it may be because of my beard, but I don't know. I mean, it's not like you can just inject something and the next day you wake up with a beard. So, but either way, I mean, that was an instance where it came from a good intention. I mean, really, I just wanted cigarette tubes, but she went on to tell me about her nephew and his transition, and like 20 minutes of conversation, really personal conversation, before I could finally leave with my cigarette tubes. But I mean, I worked with some rough and tumble people when I was a flagger, and you meet all kinds of people doing that, standing in the middle of nowhere. And there was one woman who, she had seen something when my human rights case had first gone in the newspaper and such. And so she asked me at work one day, she asked if she could ask me a question, and I said sure, whatever. And she was like, so how long does it take for a penis to grow? I mean, like, I don't understand where people... She was a grown woman. How does that question even get permission to leave her head? Like, that's not possible. So I mean, there's things that I've come across. I mean, I've heard when people get hateful, they just, if they know my birth name, they just refer to me as that, or they use female pronouns, but the thing with that is, if I'm out in public and someone uses a female pronoun for some reason, they're the ones that look stupid. So, I mean, that sort of thing doesn't bother me anymore, and I mean, it didn't, maybe when I very first started transitioning, the first 6-8 months was probably the worst. After that, I let it go. So, I mean, the medical community has improved since then, but I mean, when I first started taking tea, there was times when I would have unexpected spotting that wasn't supposed to happen, and I couldn't go to my doctor or the walk-in clinic or the hospital and ask questions because they didn't know. And I remember before I got the hysterectomy, the last time I tried to get help locally at the Aberdeen hospital, I asked the triage nurse if she knew anything about trans healthcare, anything about testosterone, the synthetic hormones. I don't remember what she said exactly, but when I explained to her what was going on and why I was there, she said, you know, menses happens every 28 days. I just felt like shaking this little woman and saying, you know, like, this hasn't happened in 8 months. And so, I mean, they're less stunned now, but I've gotten questions from hospital staff like, oh, well, are you done in the process? Well, have you had, you know, that surgery done? Like, as if they have as if it's their business to be nosy in that sort of professional setting. And, I mean, I have no shame. I don't answer their questions when they're just out of curiosity like that. I'm not a novelty. And, I mean, in the last... Well, that goes back to my little safety bubble thing. So, I mean, I had to get a new doctor last year because my doctor retired after 46 friggin' years. And, I mean, when I first saw this new guy, I went in and I sat down and I said, you know, straight up, this is what's going on. He didn't have any problems with that. He went off to do his own research, and I gave him some information as well, like WPATH, standards of care and such, that he can review. I don't go to the doctor a lot. I don't ever get sick, other than I get ear infections all the time. If I look out a window too long, I get an ear infection. But here nor there. So I don't worry about that. And as far as personally, I haven't gone anywhere that I needed to learn a whole new climate or out myself to people I haven't seen, I guess. But yet I'm out pretty much wherever I go because I've been in the media so much and so widespread, because the pot sentencing story just went like wildfire. It was kind of funny. So, I mean, it's not like I'm stealth, but it just doesn't affect my day-to-day life, I guess. Another interesting thing, though, is I've heard from 2 different people that they thought I'd be taller when in person. And, I mean, I'm not anything that anyone could call tall. I'm 158 centimeters tall. Sounds taller in metric, but that only works out to like 5'2½". So, those are some strange things I've heard. To summarize, the worst experiences I've had as far as strange things that come out of people's mouths is usually in a professional setting as far as healthcare, Department of Motor Vehicles, they have no compassion, maybe no sense that they can say anything that's not written on the computer screen in front of them. I don't know. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on strange things people say. Thanks for watching. Jen, I hope that answered your question. If not, there's more to come. I'm making videos every Monday. They'll be up Monday morning by 10 a.m. probably. But I'll see you later.